All right, so we're diving into this really fascinating topic you brought to us. Intelligence.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to be smart, right? But you're interested in like how it works.
Right.
And even more so why just being smart doesn't always mean you make smart decisions.
It's a bit of a paradox.
It is. It's like a trap.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to unpack.
Exactly.
We're calling it the intelligence trap. Like our brains can be brilliant.
Yeah.
But lead us down some pretty illogical paths.
Absolutely.
And to help us, we've got David Robson's book,
Okay.
The Intelligence Trap.
Yes.
And a bunch of research on how our thinking can go wrong, even with a high IQ.
Right.
So are you ready to kind of challenge
Absolutely.
what it means to be smart?
Yeah, let's start by asking, like, if intelligence is so valuable, why do smart people make not so smart decisions sometimes?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Yeah.
And it gets right to the
heart
of this intelligence trap idea.
Yeah.
And Robson has this great analogy.
Okay.
Like a really high performance car.
Yeah.
Like imagine it's got this powerful engine.
Okay.
But the brakes are messed up.
Yeah.
Steering's off.
Yeah.
And the navigation system is broken.
Oh.
What's going to happen?
It's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah. You've got all this power, but no control.
Are going to crash.
Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of like having a supercomputer for a brain,
right,
but not knowing how to run the right programs.
Exactly. Exactly.
And Robson has this striking example.
Okay.
Carrie Mullis.
Oh, wow.
Won a Nobel Prize for science, but fell for conspiracy theories.
Oh, no.
And even denied the link between HIV and AIDS.
Wow.
Wait. So a Nobel Prize winner believing in conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
That's like a perfect example
of
this intelligence trap.
Exactly.
How could someone so smart get caught up in that?
I think it's probably a lot of different things.
Okay.
But Mullis was a big out-of-the-box thinker.
Okay.
I mean, that obviously helped him in science.
Right.
But when he applied that outside of science, maybe it made him more prone to believing things that weren't true.
So it's not just about having a powerful brain.
Right.
It's about knowing its limits.
Right.
And where it can go wrong.
Yeah.
So what are some common pitfalls that trip us up?
I think one of the big ones is motivated reasoning.
Motivated reasoning.
Yeah, it's like our brains cherry-picking information just to confirm what we already believe.
I've totally done that.
Of course.
Especially with stuff I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
It's like I'm looking for evidence to prove I'm right.
Yeah.
Not to actually like see all sides.
Yeah.
It feels good to be right.
Yeah.
But it can really mess things up.
It can send you down the wrong path.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's the really interesting part. More educated people, sometimes they're even more polarized.
It's true.
So you're saying smarter people can be more stubborn?
Well, think about it. They can use their intelligence to defend their opinions.
Yeah.
Even if the evidence doesn't really back them up.
So they get better at arguing.
Yeah.
And finding flaws in other people's arguments.
Exactly.
And just get more stuck in their own beliefs.
It's almost like intellectual self-defense.
Wow. So intelligence can actually make it harder?
Sometimes.
To see things clearly?
Yeah.
So if education and intelligence don't protect us, what does?
Well, one key thing is intellectual humility.
Intellectual humility.
Yeah. Knowing what you don't know.
Okay.
Being open to other viewpoints.
Yeah.
And admitting your own biases.
So basically being okay with saying, I don't know everything.
Right.
And I might be wrong.
Exactly.
Are there any like practical ways to get better at this?
Robson talks about Benjamin Franklin. He had this moral algebra thing.
Moral algebra?
Yeah, he'd write out pros and cons.
Okay.
Before making any big decisions.
So instead of just going with your gut. Or letting your emotions take over.
Right.
You can try Franklin's method. Like next time I have a tough choice, I'm going to list the pros and cons.
Yeah.
Really think it through.
Exactly.
That's great for making more objective decisions.
Yeah.
But intellectual humility isn't everything, is it?
No. Emotional intelligence is important too.
Okay, now we're talking.
Right.
Robson tells this story about Ray Craddock,
the
McDonald's guy.
Yeah.
And he was really tuned into his gut feelings. He called them
somatic markers.
Somatic markers.
Yeah.
Tell me more about those.
Like, imagine you're about to make a decision.
Okay.
And you get like a tight chest.
Okay.
Or a knot in your stomach.
Yeah.
These are somatic markers.
Okay.
And they can signal if something feels right or wrong.
So it's like your body's giving you clues.
It can be, yeah.
Like a warning system.
Yeah.
Kroc said he used those feelings.
He did, yeah.
To make business decisions.
It's interesting how our bodies play a part in making choices.
But isn't that a bit risky?
It can be.
What if it's just fear or excitement?
Yeah.
Not logic.
Right.
How do you know if you're really picking up on good cues?
That's why emotional intelligence is more than just trusting your gut.
Okay.
It's also about being able to name your emotions.
So you have to understand the feeling.
Yes.
And be able to say what it is.
Exactly.
Like this is anxiety, not intuition.
Right.
Or this is excitement, not just me being impulsive.
Exactly.
So the more emotions you can name, the better you can understand those feelings.
Exactly.
And that, with intellectual humility and
and
critical thinking, helps make better decisions.
it all works together.
This is so insightful.
Thank you.
It's like we're figuring out how to go beyond just being smart to making wise decisions.
Absolutely.
But we live in a world full of information.
So much information.
And a lot of it is misleading or just plain false.
It's true.
So how do we not fall for all that?
Yeah.
Especially with all these biases we have.
That's the next part of our deep dive.
Okay.
Fighting misinformation and building our bullshit detectors.
That's a skill we all need.
Right.
Yeah, so let's get those tools
Okay.
so we can be smart about the information we get
Absolutely.
and avoid those traps.
Let's do it. We think being intelligent protects us from misinformation.
Right.
But it's not that simple.
It's not.
Robson has some stats
Okay.
about how much false information is out there, even among educated people.
Wow.
Nobody's really immune to it.
That's a little scary.
It is.
We can be smart,
Yeah.
accomplished, well-informed, but still fall for it.
It happens.
So what can we do
Right.
to be smarter about the information we consume?
Yeah. So first,
Yep.
think about the source.
Okay, the source.
Is it a legit news outlet?
Uh-huh.
A peer-reviewed journal?
Yeah.
Or just some random blog?
Yeah. Okay.
Think about the author, too.
Okay.
Their expertise.
Right.
Any biases they might have.
It's like checking someone's credentials.
Exactly.
Before you take their advice.
Yeah.
You wouldn't trust medical advice from someone who's never been to med school.
Exactly.
Same with information.
Right.
Got to check the source.
Absolutely. Another thing to watch out for is repetition.
Repetition.
Yeah.
Okay.
Propagandists use it
Okay.
to make things sound more believable.
Even if they're not true.
Even if there's no evidence.
It's like that saying, repeat a lie often enough.
Right.
And it becomes the truth.
Exactly.
Just because you hear something a lot doesn't mean it's true.
Right.
What else should we look out for?
Oh, also be careful of jargon.
Jargon. Okay.
Or really complex details that are just meant to confuse you.
Okay, so they sound smart.
Right.
But are really just hiding something?
Exactly.
So don't just passively absorb information.
Right.
Question it.
Yeah.
Analyze it. Look for evidence.
Yes.
That's where all those skills come in.
They do.
Intellectual humility.
Yeah.
Emotional intelligence.
and a good dose of skepticism.
Absolutely.
It's like a toolkit.
It is.
For critical thinking.
Yeah.
To help us see through the BS.
And make better decisions.
Yeah. And that brings us to...
evidence-based wisdom.
Evidence-based wisdom. I love that.
It's this emerging field.
Okay.
Combining cognitive science.
Okay.
Philosophy.
Uh-huh.
And practical experience.
So it's like a way to make better choices.
Yeah, in all parts of life.
I like that.
And what's really cool
Yeah.
is that wisdom isn't something you're just born with.
Oh, okay.
You can develop it.
Okay.
It's a skill you can build.
So we can all become wiser.
Exactly.
No matter how smart we are to begin with.
Right.
That's really encouraging.
It is.
In a world obsessed with being smart.
Right.
It's good to remember that wisdom is more than that.
It is.
It's about using our knowledge.
Yeah.
Our experiences.
Uh-huh.
And our values.
Yeah.
To make good choices.
Choices that are good for us.
Yeah.
And good for others.
That's a great message.
Thank you.
It's like a call to action.
It is.
So if we can build this evidence-based wisdom,
yeah,
what are some steps we can take?
Well, think about what stood out to you today.
Okay.
Where are you vulnerable to these traps?
Yeah. Okay.
What can you do to get better?
So it's about being self-aware.
Yeah.
And taking action.
Exactly.
To improve our thinking.
And make better choices.
I love that.
Good.
This has been so eye-opening. From Nobel Prize winners falling for conspiracy.
That happens.
To the power of intellectual humility
mm-hmm.
and emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
This has been a great exploration.
It has.
Of how our minds work.
Yeah.
and how to use them better.
Absolutely.
And you've given us so much to think about.
I'm glad.
And most importantly, a framework for becoming wiser.
That's the goal.
It's been great diving into this with you.
The pleasure's all mine. This has been really fascinating, hasn't it?
Yes.
All these paradoxes of intelligence and cognitive biases.
Right.
And how to be wiser.
It's a lot to think about.
It is.
But I do feel like more equipped now.
Good.
To navigate the world more intentionally.
That's the goal.
And it's a process.
It is, yeah.
Wisdom isn't something you just achieve.
Right.
It's ongoing.
Yeah.
You keep learning.
Right.
Growing. Reflecting.
It's a lifelong journey.
So as we wrap up, I want to leave our listeners with a question.
Okay.
If evidence-based wisdom is a skill we can develop, what steps can you take to become wiser?
What resonated with you today?
Yeah.
What traps are you most vulnerable to?
Okay.
And what can you actually do to make better choices?
It's been so great exploring all this with you.
Likewise. I always enjoy these conversations.
And to our listener, we hope this deep dive has made you more curious. And given you some tools to use.
Absolutely.
To be more discerning.
Right.
And remember, the journey to wisdom starts with one step.
Right.
Be willing to question.
Yes.
To learn. And to grow.
Absolutely.
Keep those minds open.
Yes.
Keep asking those questions. And keep striving to be the best, wisest versions of yourselves.
Yeah.